All right, good morning. My name is Jakari Young, and I am the Deputy Chief for Daytona Beach Police Department. I can tell you this morning we got one phone call from a passerby at approximately 7:21 a.m. in reference to a vehicle that they noticed that had obviously veered off the road and sustained a substantial amount of damage. We responded out to the scene and we discovered a 2010 Lincoln MKS with a major amount of damage to the vehicle and two people who were partially ejected from that vehicle. Driver black female and passenger black male. Neither one of them have been positively identified yet. We're still working on next of kin. So right now we're just treating it as a death investigation. They were obviously going at a high rate of speed when they hit a tree, and they were both partially ejected. So as of right now, we're just treating it as a general death investigation.
There were some reports possibly that this could have been, they were running away from a shooting. Is that any way confirmed?
Initially, based on what we're looking at on the vehicle, it appeared that there may have been some gunshots to the vehicle, but upon further investigation, we're not so sure that's exactly what happened. So right now we're going to treat it both as a traffic homicide investigation and a regular homicide. So that's why for right now we're just going to keep it generic as a death investigation.
Anybody you're looking for at this time?
Not right now. We have, like I said, we have the one passerby who called it in to us, but other than that, we have no witnesses whatsoever.
Do you know how long it had been out here before the passerby?
Obviously, we believe it had been out here prior to daylight, just based on the dew on the car and whatnot. Probably been out here for at least a couple hours prior to that passerby noticing the vehicle.
Now it seems as though there's no street lights along through here. That would be obviously difficult to see.
Exactly. Several people could have driven by and just not noticed it at all. So I'm pretty sure that's why it took until daylight before the one caller that did notify us even noticed the vehicle.
And just out of curiosity, what is the speed limit through here?
That I'm not 100% sure. I believe it's what, like 40, 45, 45.
You said this was a 2010 Lincoln AKS? MKS.
MKS.
All right, what color was it?
Bluish, silverish, yeah.
Do you know if they were wearing
MKZ.
Oh,
seatbelts
MKZ.
for the passenger and
MKZ.
driver?
Not sure about seatbelts. Not sure about seatbelts.
Did the female sustain gunshot wounds, or was that something that was seen?
We initially thought she may have sustained a gunshot wound, but once the medical examiner came on scene, that part is now in question. So we won't know for certain until after the autopsy. So that's why right now we're just going to kind of treat it as such, but that may not be the case.
And no weapons or anything found in the car?
No weapons
around the
found.
car?
No.
Now upon initial investigation, does it look like if they had been found earlier that they could potentially have survived the crash?
I can't say that. I think looking at the impact and the damage to that car, I highly doubt they would have survived even if we would have immediately responded to the scene. It was serious impact.
And was there any sign of skidding or loss of control?
We do have some skid marks off to the left side of the roadway there, where you can see they hit the grass patch first prior to going through a fence down there and eventually striking a tree.
Who was driving?
What is up that way? Is there like, it doesn't look like there's much.
Yeah, this side here is mainly woods, like almost like farmland. So you're right, there's not a whole lot on this side of the street. I don't remember the business name that's directly across the street from it.
Was it the male or the female who was driving?
It was a female.
And do you have any idea general ages? Are they both adults?
They're definitely both adults, but no, I can't give you much on age.
I mean, this could have been way worse. There could have been another car. There could have been a pedestrian crossing the street. Just talk about, like, always keep in mind of just driving carefully out here, especially in a dark road.
It always could be worse. Anytime we have a loss of life like this, we consider it a tragedy. But of course, yes, it always could have been worse. I'm glad that there obviously were, as far as we know right now, there weren't any other vehicles involved. But like I said, all this information is preliminary and subject to change. But for what we know right now, it's just the one vehicle and the two occupants.
Is there any indication as to what caused the car to lose control? Do you believe it was the speeding?
I definitely believe it was the speed. It was attributed to the speed.
And at this point, does it look like this is going to be eligible for Crime Stopper tip funding?
Can't tell you that right now. I can maybe tell you that before 5 p.m. before later on this afternoon, but I can't tell you that right now.
All right. And if anybody has any info,
Right. Obviously, if anybody does have any information in reference that took place in the wee hours of the morning out here, any information would be greatly appreciated.
Do you know when you expect to get the results of the autopsy back?
I don't know right now. It could be maybe at the earliest at some point tomorrow. I don't expect to get any information as far as from the ME at any point today.
Have you been able to recover any surveillance video from the hotel, traffic cams, or anything
We're
like
working
that?
on that, but not yet. Not as of this time. Can't talk today.
Do you have an estimate as to what time this occurred, this crash?
Well, we got the call at 7:21. We believe it had happened approximately maybe 4 hours prior to. So we got a broad window, anywhere between 2 to 4 hours prior to us being notified.
Okay.
anything we're missing?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Thank you, sir.
That does it for us. Thank you.
Oh, just for logistics, can we get your first name, proper spelling?
First name Jakari, Jakari.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very much.